Hey everybody, it's Penny. I am stepping in for Steve 2009, who's under the weather still, as Friday's Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works vlogger. So thank you, Steve, for asking me to fill in. I appreciate that. The questions, there was two this week, and the first one has many parts, but I'm going to address just the first one. Are you or do you struggle with a transfer addiction, or do you feel one coming on? And the truth is, I do not suffer from a transfer addiction, but I do still think that I'm as addicted to food as I ever was. So there's really nothing to transfer to. I took, when I had my first fill, at 4 cc's, I felt like the water wouldn't go down. I've since talked to people at my support group, and it's supposed to hang there for a little bit and then go down. I felt panicky. I felt like I couldn't burp, and I felt like I needed to have some taken out. So we did take some out, and I had what my doctor refers to as a very cautious first fill. But I think that this has helped me with my food addiction in the sense that I didn't cut myself completely off. I just greatly decreased what I was able to have. But not to the biggest extent that I could have at the beginning of this journey. So, you know, I'm still able to eat a decent amount of food. It's really helping me with my head hunger. Before, when I was only able to eat just a little bit, I was done. Even though you eat slow and you chew, and I make sure to stop in the middle of while I'm chewing and to really taste my food. I move my tongue all around. I know that sounds gross, but you know, with all that food in there, and I just rest for a minute and I try to make sure I'm tasting it to the greatest extent possible before I continue to chew and then eventually swallow it. And being able to eat a little more food is helping me. It's taking me a little bit longer to eat the amount of food that I can, and that is really helping me. So maybe that'll affect me down the road. I don't know. I had my weight loss support group at the hospital last night, and once again they reminded us that this is a marathon. It's not a sprint, and take our time to get there. So I'm definitely doing that. I never was a smoker, and I never was a drinker. I have heard that. I have heard people, when you look up weight loss surgery and you read about it, some people are very much, who are anti-surgery, will throw that one out there a lot. Oh, this person used to eat all the time, and when they couldn't eat, they turned to alcohol and eventually died. That person should have probably had more psychological help than they did. You know, I'm choosing to go really, really slow and to deal with issues as they come up in my own way. You know, should I have taken a bigger fill and just suffered through it? I don't know. My surgeon yesterday talked about, it was Ask the Surgeon night, and he said that when they go to seminars, they will actually see some of the surgeons from Mexico, and they always say that they use the expression that Americans like to be choked to death. We like to have our bands so ridiculously tight. In Mexico, they want them to be a little looser. They want you to have restriction, but not to feel deprived, so that you don't go out look after another addiction, or that you don't feel like you mentally, maybe you're not aware of it, but that you feel like you have to substitute to something else. So I guess if I was going to pick a transfer addiction, I'm hoping for sex, but, you know, like I said, right now, nothing's going on there. Number 2, are you the main provider of the Thanksgiving meal this year? Are you hosting a dinner or an event? Will you be cooking healthily? Do you have any recipes that you want to share? What is your strategy for the big meal? Will you organize a family or group after turkey stroll around the neighborhood? If this is... Okay, this is my first Thanksgiving after surgery. And my family and I don't usually make a huge, we live right next door to each other. We see each other all the time. So it's not uncommon for us to have awesome dinners regularly. So Thanksgiving's never really a huge deal. I did get a free turkey this year from school though, so we may have turkey this year. And my plan is to remember my rules, to not go crazy over the smell of food. My plan is to take my appropriate amount of turkey, which is my protein, and to make sure that I eat that first. Protein first. That's our first rule. And I do plan on taking a teaspoon of cranberry sauce. And my mom makes the best stuffing in the world. I know you all think your mom does, but I'm sorry. I'm planning to take a teaspoon. I like to make green bean casserole. So, I'll make sure I take a teaspoon of that too. And by eating it all, by chewing it slowly, or eating as much as I can, I hope to combat off any feeling of deprivation and, just handle it like I would any other meal. That's my mindset. Thoughts that I have for people who this is a huge tradition, pick 5 things, pick 4 things, turkey being number 1, and just take a little bit, consider yourself done. They say use a smaller plate. I think that's a great idea. That has never worked for me. If you feel, maybe use a smaller plate if you feel deprived, because your big plate's kind of looking sad. I'm not a low fat advocate. I do like to do Atkins, and I like to eat all my fat. So, if you want to give yourself a break from low fat for a day, down that gravy. I think, it'll help the turkey go down a little nicer, and it makes everything taste better. So, pick a handful of things. If somebody's bringing trail mix and somebody's bringing, not, you know what I mean, that junky stuff. And somebody's bringing cookies, and somebody's bringing banana bread and pumpkin pie, green bean casserole, Paula Deen's corn casserole, anything like that. Pick the ones you're going to eat. Don't try and eat them all. It'll be too much. And make a list, and maybe next year then eat the ones that you didn't have. Or if you're going to have a big dinner for later in the year, maybe eat the things you didn't eat then, and eat the things that you didn't eat now then. So don't feel deprived. Most of all, don't feel deprived. Maybe putter around in the kitchen a little bit more, sit at the table for grace, and maybe then go in the kitchen and start working on the dishes for somebody if someone else has cooked, and come out when everybody's about half done. Maybe make yourself a little plate first. Then you'll be done around the time that they're done, and you won't feel like, oh, here I am sitting and I still smell all this and everybody's still eating. And anyway, those are my thoughts, and I hope everybody has a great time. And those of you who are running 5Ks that day, eat afterwards. I also think that the stroll around the neighborhood after you eat is an awesome idea. It's fall. It's not beautiful anymore out, at least not in my area. The leaves have all fallen, but I'm finding myself a little addicted to the sound of crunching leaves under my my feet when I take the dog out. So maybe enjoy that. Maybe bury the kids a little bit if you have them, and have some outdoor fun. Make it about that and not about the food this year. So everybody have a great one. Have a great week, and I wish you all the best. Take care.